Uh, the tax laws. He says he's going to visit his mom in Florida, but it's interesting that it's Florida, and that there's been wealth taxes proposed, and let alone the capital gains tax, which would cost him billions, literally billions of dollars, and his selling of Amazon stock slowed way down for some inexplicable reason this last year as the capital gains tax was imposed. So he can't be here. He's here. I just invested more than my house cost to stay here. So we're gonna put him back in the back for a minute because I want to bring some others. So bye Jeff Bezos. We appreciate. I think we owe him actually appreciation for everything that he's done, because I would suggest that because of Jeff Bezos, because of the risks that he took as an entrepreneur when Amazon was not making any money for a long time, the risk that all the investors took on Amazon when it was not making money, they completely changed not just the book industry, but the way shopping and shipping happen. Not just shopping, the way shipping happens. They have completely changed our economy because of the entrepreneurial spirit that was expressed by this man. And he came to Washington, he's in Washington, he built it here. And then because he did that, a bunch of other entrepreneurs came to this state. And a lot of other businesses were built around both Amazon and Facebook and Google. And you created this whole economy. And I believe that has kept our economy really strong while other economies were getting hurt. So let's, we miss Jeff Bezos. Let's say thank you to him for having been here as long as he did. He gave a lot of people jobs, created a lot of wealth and a strong economy here in Washington. We don't want to chase off the next Jeff Bezos, or I don't know who it's going to be. It may not be Jeff Bezos. It may be someone whose last name is Kim, who's living in Seattle right now, who came here to build a small business, right? It might be someone whose last name is Hernandez, who's got a business, who's building up a family farm, right? These people are ones that make our economy strong. And then I would like to go, first, let's invite Jay Inslee up. You're just proxy right here. You're proxy. You're just proxy, okay? So he's not. This guy's a good guy. He's really not Jay Inslee. Much smarter and much better looking, right? So, Jay Inslee promised, as he was campaigning for governor, multiple times. They said, "Are you going to raise taxes?" He says, "No, I'm not going to raise taxes." "Are you going to raise taxes?" And then he said, I'd veto anything that heads the wrong direction, and the wrong direction is new taxes. Now, I completely agree with the wrong direction is anything that is new taxes, right? I was shocked. I agree with Jay Inslee on this. And then he was asked again, he said, asked about taxes. "I don't believe that tax increases are the right route forward for our state," right? And he's right. It's not the right way forward. But for some reason, as soon as he got elected, he immediately forgot this. And almost every single budget that he proposed included tax increases of some sort. And I had, if you'll hold this for a minute. Hold that for me. I asked a legislator. Whoops. It's not recognizing my face. I asked the legislator, these are taxes that have been implemented. So transportation network company tax, cell phone tax, increased Boeing B&O tax, B&O tax on financial institutions, tax on travel agents, tax on captive insurers, timber product surcharge, aircraft fuel tax, heavy, and these are all since 2019, aircraft fuel tax, heavy equipment rentals tax, MTCA hazardous substance tax, capital gains income tax, plastic bag tax, paint stewardship tax, B&O tax on certain businesses, B&O services tax, payroll tax, graduated REIT. These are just some of these are taxes that have been implemented, and you may not know you've been impacted by them, but you are. There's just almost, I was looking like, it doesn't matter whether it sits still or it moves, it's getting taxed, right? So, and there's another list I got of things that they want to tax. In 2021, there was an even greater list of things that got taxed that aren't even on this list. things that'll scare you. Okay, so Jamesley, you can go back to your hiding place, right? I want to, and so here's, come forward, Mr. Voter Representative. This is another really interesting statistic. There has been an attempt over the last 100 years, 10 times they've made it to the ballot and said, let's put in an income tax because Washingtonians are not taxed enough. We need to give them an income tax. 10 times, starting in 1934. Let's review what the result has been. Did the people of Washington want these taxes? When they were put up to vote, in 1934, it failed. In 1936, it failed. In 1938, it
failed.
1942, it
Failed.
1944,
Failed.
1970,
Failed.
1973,
Failed.
1975,
Failed.
1982,
Failed.
2010.
Failed.
I moved here in 2010, and Bill Gates Sr. immediately put this tax on the ballot, and I thought, crap. I was moving here from California that had a 13% income tax, headed towards 15%, and this came on the ballot, and fortunately, the smart and wise people of Washington State said, sorry, Bill Gates Sr., we don't want your income tax, right? Okay, they failed at the ballot a bunch of times, and I'm partly crafting the story because today we turned in an income tax prohibition, and at the city, state, and county level, and the tax basically says if the IRS defines it as income tax, you can't do that, right? So no sneaky way around it. If the IRS defines it as an income tax, you can't tax it, right? So they failed a bunch of times with the income tax. Here, now we need, let's see. No, well, okay, so yeah, thank you. The IRS, when they passed the capital gains tax, the IRS said, you ask whether a tax on capital gains, this is specifically asked about the Washington capital gains tax. You ask whether tax on capital gains is considered an excise tax or an income tax. It's an income tax. More specifically, capital gains are treated as income under the tax code and taxed as such. This is the IRS, the definer of taxes, the most probably aggressive definer of taxes, considered capital gains an income tax. But then you go, okay, well, the capital gains is only for rich people. I don't give a crap. Now, there's two parts to that. One is, already last year, there was bill number 2335 that they proposed that would have done two things. Number one, it would have put a 10% health tax on you. In addition, it was an 8% capital gains tax proposed on income on capital gains above 15,000, right? So they first gave us this capital gains tax, which, it's only on rich people, it's only on 250,000 or more. Don't worry. But immediately last year they proposed, it didn't get passed, it didn't get voted on it, but it was proposed by a senator, and that's their process is you propose it enough, at some point you might break through, right? So the proposal already is to take basically the exemption down to zero and to raise the rate another 8% on top of the 7%. So it's coming, but then now let's get this one right here. I want just the bottom. Senator Jamie Peterson. The Washington Policy Center asked for information on the emails that went back and forth as they were passing this capital gains tax. And lo and behold, the silent part was exposed out loud. The more important benefit of passing the capital gains tax, it's not the revenue, it's not the money, it's not the baby kittens and the seals and the children that they claim that they're going to save with this. The more important benefit of passing a capital gains tax is on the legal side, from my perspective. The other side will challenge it as unconstitutional property tax, which makes it possible, if we succeed, to enact a progressive income tax with a simple majority vote.
Boo.
Boo. Exactly. This is the reason for the capital gains tax, and the reason that we're turning both of these in, both a repeal of the capital gains tax and an income tax ban, is because they go together. Their whole reason for doing capital gains is so they could come and reach into your pocketbook and tax you on your income, which is one of the things that makes our economy strong and great. Now I need to steal back Thank you, thank you. I want to give you some numbers now. The last four boxes that we turned in another 22,000 signatures for parental notification. That takes us to about 445,000 roughly on that initiative. We turned in an additional 14,000 roughly signatures on the reasonable police pursuit initiative.
Yes.
And that puts us at about 425,000 signatures on that one. We also turned in, and this is astonishing, we quit collecting, but they're still coming in, and we'll take them as long as they come in, another 18,000 signatures on the repeal of the cap and tax scheme. We're now just under 460,000 signatures, 460,000 Washingtonians that are sick and tired of this hidden gas tax and want it repealed. And as I've mentioned before, I'm watching. I shouldn't read the newspaper. I shouldn't read the comments. I'm watching how I get attacked. I'm a rich bastard. I'm just doing this for my own glory. But then I watch people say, I'm tired of these taxes. Right? It hurts. It hurts me. And then they say, well, this is sort of. And then I'm MAGA or MAGA or whatever. If you know me, that's not true. What I really care about, and why are you doing this? That's the question. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Let me tell you a secret about some of these things. Jeff Bezos left, right? He left so he didn't have to pay this tax. I have enough money that I could leave. I've made money and I've paid capital gains taxes. I've paid a lot of taxes. I've paid more taxes, enormously more taxes than any of the snipers that have come after me. I paid a huge, significant amount of taxes. I'm not doing this. In fact, if I just stopped working right now, I'd be fine, and I wouldn't have any more capital gains taxes to pay. Why am I doing this? Because I grew up poor. I grew up poor in Arizona, and I believe, in fact, one of the reasons I'm wearing this Unleashed shirt is, I believe that the American dream is real, and it's the coolest freaking thing on the earth. It means it doesn't matter where you're born, or how poor you are, or what station in life, or what your status is. If you want to, you can find opportunities in this fantastic country to do things that no one else can do, and you can change your station. It means that, well, it doesn't happen anywhere else. I go to Japan a lot. In Japan, whatever station you're in, that's the station you stay in. You don't go above your station. Britain, UK has a similar laws to us, but it's very stratified. You don't go up station, right? In America, there's an open door for someone who wants to go out and be an entrepreneur and do something special. Or if you're a family restaurant and you've been doing it for 50 years and you want to give that money to your kids, you can make your kids' lives better. That's all part of why the capital gains matters and why American economy is so strong. That matters to me. But it also matters to me that I remember in the 70s when the gas prices just went through the roof and it hit our family. We couldn't afford, we had two old crappy cars because one of them would break down. And it was hard to fill them up. And it was expensive, and sometimes we made decisions about less groceries this week while we pay for gas this week. And that decision is being imposed right now with the cap and trade. It's being imposed on working families. I know how that feels, and it sucks. There's a reason for this, and I believe that Washington State is a fantastic state, and I want to see it prosper. I want to see it prosperous, and I want to unleash the citizens of Washington State to be able to achieve their version, whatever it is, of the American dream. Two last numbers that I want to give you. Today we turned in 419,699 signatures to repeal the capital gains tax. And these are 53% of these people are Democrat or independents.
Wow.
This is not a bunch of MAGA Republicans. This is Washingtons across a broad spectrum of bipartisan desire to achieve the American dream. We're also turning in, or we turned in 437,950 signatures to make sure that we do not have an income tax for the 11th time, right? I appreciate everybody that's been doing this. We'll be on December 28th. This may change. Right now, our intent is on December 28th, we'll be turning in the long-term care. We will be over 400,000 signatures on that one as well. All 6 of these are going to have enough signatures to be on the ballot. So I really want to say thank you to all the people that have spent lots of time in cold weather and late nights getting stuff put together and collecting it. Jim, you've usually got a few calming soft words to share with me. As the writer and the sponsor of the initiatives, would you like to share anything with us?
Well, as we've done before, here is the proof. Here are the receipts. So, Brian, this is the proof of the fruit of our labor here.
Yay!
Thank you, everybody.
Not yet. I don't see it. So, Merry Christmas to all working people in Washington. It's the right day to present these common sense tax policy reform initiatives. Now, Brian said it. We don't care what names they call us. The critics call it MAGA. They call it extremists. It's none of that. This state's great tradition is that it does not have a state income tax. And this state's great tradition is that it attracts entrepreneurs. It attracts people who build engines of economic success, whether it's the timber industry in Weyerhaeuser, whether it's the airplane industry in Boeing, whether it's software in Microsoft, whether it's logistics and delivery and online shopping in Amazon. And Brian's exactly right. Our great concern is bad tax policy is going to chase the next Weyerhaeuser, the next Boeing, the next Microsoft, the next Amazon to Texas or Florida or somewhere else. We want that engine to stay here. Because look at the day. This is the first day of winter, and I had to put sunglasses on when I was driving here. This is a beautiful place to live. And the traditions of the state are excellent. So when they say that these tax reforms are about rich people, I say these tax reforms are about longshoremen in Longview.
Yeah.
These tax reforms are about master electricians in Seattle, Kent. These tax reforms are about small business startups, whether it's a restaurant or an ad firm or whatever it is, that have a good idea about how to do things better and produce better. These tax reforms are about people who work and create value. I don't care how rich you are, whether you're middle, whether you're just starting out. If you're producing value, you care about Initiative 2190 or 2109 and 2111, these two initiatives. You care because they're going to keep this place a great place to be, to work, to build value, to build your family, and to retire.
Yeah.
Too many people retire and they move away.
Yeah.
I want people who've done well and worked hard and put some money away and want to see their grandkids and their extended family into their golden years. I want them to stay here and move out to the coast. You know, do what you want to do, but stay in Washington. Don't go to Arizona. Don't go to Florida. Stay here. These good reforms, these two initiatives, they'll keep value here and they'll keep people here. So joke all you want about MAGA, talk about Jeff Bezos, but we want to keep the working people, the creators of value. We want to keep them here. So Brian, again,
Right.
it's so good to work with you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Team.